This is the story of King Vichitravirya's death and the miraculous birth of three princes who would shape the destiny of Hastinapura forever. As you have seen previously, King Vichitravirya wed Ambika and Ambalika and ruled Hastinapura with Bhishma's guidance. The kingdom celebrated, but fate had darker plans. The young king fell gravely ill and King Vichitravirya died without producing a single heir. Hastinapura plunged into mourning. Queen Mother Satyavati stood before the empty throne, staring at the future of Kuru dynasty slipping away. She turned to the only man left in the royal family and said, Bhishma, without a heir, the Kuru dynasty would end. Everything you sacrificed for would be lost. I beg you to marry one of the queens and give us a heir. Bhishma refused with deep pain in his eyes. I can renounce heaven itself, but I cannot break my sacred vow. I will never marry. This led Satyavati to reveal a shocking secret. Before marrying Shantanu, she bore a divine son who became the great sage Vyasa. She closed her eyes and prayed with all her might. She summoned sage Vyasa. Divine golden light filled with the chamber as a mystical figure began to materialize. That's none other than sage Vyasa, with radiating divine power and ancient wisdom. He bowed before his mother and listened as she explained the crisis threatening the dynasty. Vyasa spoke with divine clarity. I will bless the queens with sacred ritual. The Kuru dynasty will continue. The ritual was performed in secrecy with divine light and sacred mantras. Vyasa blessed each woman with his mystical powers. Queen Ambika is the first queen to receive the blessing. She was overwhelmed by sage's mystical presence and closed her eyes tightly in terror, unable to face his divine power. In time, Queen Ambika gave birth to a son born blind from birth because she had closed her eyes in fear. He was named Dhritarashtra. Despite his blindness, Dhritarashtra possessed unmatched strength. The eldest prince grew into a powerful warrior, his physical might unequaled in all of the Hastinapura. The next in line is Queen Ambalika, who received the blessing from sage Vyasa. She was paralyzed with fright, her face turning ghostly pale before his mystical aura. Queen Ambalika then gave birth to a son with pale skin lighter than anyone in the kingdom, because she had turned pale with fright during the ritual. He was named Pandu. Though marked by his unusual pale complexion, he would become a fierce and skilled warrior. The pale prince proved his worth on the battlefield and was destined to rule Hastinapura as its rightful king. The next one is the humble palace maid that received the blessing from sage Vyasa. She gazed at Vyasa with courage and pure faith. For her bravery, she received the greatest blessing of all. The palace maid, blessed by Vyasa's divine power for her courage, bore a third son, a child of wisdom and righteousness. He was named Vidura. For accepting the blessing without fear, her son received the greatest gift of all, divine wisdom. Vidura grew to become the wisest counselor in all the kingdom, known throughout the land for his unshakable righteousness and just counsel. But Dhritarashtra, though the eldest and strongest, could not inherit the throne. Ancient law forbade a king with such affliction from ruling, and so Pandu, the pale warrior prince, became the king of Hastinapura. The dynasty was saved, and the impossible has been achieved. But the seeds of future tragedy had been already planted. Dhritarashtra's pain would echo through generations, and the greatest war in the history was yet to come.